Now, apparently, the iPhone 17 Air is gonna have a normal battery. And this is a really disappointing news because, the whole thing of the iPhone 17 Air, as the consumers thought, was gonna be a really slim phone with the same battery life as a really thick phone. That's a bit more expensive, and the consumers would have accepted that. You're getting better tech and a slimmer phone. So a price hike, even though Apple's prices are really high anyway, was justifiable. So, and now it's not gonna be the silicon carbide battery tech apparently. Well, at least that's what I'm hearing. So it's gonna be a normal battery, and that kind of sucks. Now there is a possibility that it could still be a silicon carbide battery, but from the stuff I'm hearing, it's likely not to be that. And that's disappointing because without that battery tech, there's a lot of issues with this phone. We already seen what happened with the S25 Edge. It was a big screen with a small battery. It was a 6.7 inch, 6.7 or 8. It basically had the screen the size of an Ultra and had the battery of at the same size or smaller than the regular S25. That was a problem. And the iPhone 17 Air is probably gonna end up being the same thing. Now, a lot of people are probably still gonna buy it to get their hands on the slim looking iPhone, but as far as usability goes, yeah, it's not gonna be great. From what we're hearing, it's probably gonna be the size of a 17 Pro Max. It's gonna be, the display is gonna be that size, but the battery is gonna be much smaller. Now, how small it is, I don't know, but it's definitely gonna be smaller than the 17 Pro Max, and maybe it might be the same size as the regular 17. And that's just not gonna be enough battery life. Even the regular 17 Pro doesn't have a good enough battery life for most people. That's why most people go for the Pro Max. And this phone having a same size battery, I think the battery life might end up being real terrible, to the point that people wouldn't buy the phone being willing to put up with it. Because a lot of people, even though the battery life wasn't incredible, they were willing to put up with it because there was a threshold that people were willing to put up with. But now this phone's probably going to cross that. The battery life is going to be really bad. And yeah, it's not going to be a one charge, one day phone. And I don't know why Apple would do this. They didn't have to actually do this. They could have put the tech in or just push the phone back till they got the tech. I guess it might be some sort of business strategy, but honestly, I don't think it would have been a big deal because the new 17, the regular 17, this year is going to be a huge upgrade as compared to the previous years because it's finally having a 120 Hz screen. So, and a base iPhone is finally going to have that. And apparently it's going to have a bigger front camera. It's going to have Apple's own Wi-Fi chip. It's going to have the new processor. And I think all those things together were a good enough upgrade for most people to consider buying the normal 17 and a 17 Plus if it was available. And they didn't have to do that just for the sake of sales. They could have just waited till next year till the battery tech was available already or whatever and put it in there. But no, they bring this phone out now and it seems like a real waste. Now I'm sure next year there's going to be the 18 Air, which is going to have the tech, and that phone will be great. But this phone, I don't think they should have put in the effort if they're going to be putting this battery in there, the normal battery in there. Now if they bring out the silicon carbide battery, then I take it all back. This is going to be an awesome phone. People are going to love it, even though it's not the same as the Pro Max and it's expensive. People will buy it just for the aesthetics of having a really slim iPhone. A slim phone is appealing as long as the battery life doesn't take a hit. But as it stands now, I don't think that's going to be happening, and it's really disappointing. Apple's already saw what's happened with the S25 Edge. And I really think they should take note of that and try to get that battery tech in there somehow. I mean, the S25 Edge is, I don't know who that phone is for. I mean, the only thing you get is the main camera of that phone. The 200 megapixel sensor at a somewhat cheaper price than the Ultra, but the compromises are too high. And when it comes to 17 Air, well, I don't see anything special about that to actually compete with the Pro Max, because the S25 Edge had the 200 megapixel sensor, but the 17 Air is probably going to have the 64 megapixel in the previous 16 series. Now, it's not as good as the Pro sensor, but still, you're getting a big sensor too, so the difference isn't great. And apart from some people just wanting a slim iPhone, I don't think this is going to work out well, and this is going to end up the same way as the Mini. Because the Mini phones, although aesthetically pleasing and nice to hold in the hand, the battery life and the screen was too small. The battery life was not good enough because it's a small phone, and this is just going to end up the same way. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens with the new 17 series launches, which is also split up in 2 launches. Okay.